Week 4 was rivalry week in the FF League. X-Man took on their longtime nemesis, Street Finest. And we have special guest Ronald Jean comes in to talk about the marquee matchup between the Outlaws and Terror Squad.
Find out this and more on the Eff-Zone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Eff-Zone. I'm your host, Vladimir Lussaint.
And I'm Paul Price.
Paul, a quarter of the season has gone by in the FF League. One team is showing that they are a class above everyone else, while other teams that were logjam at 2-1 were trying to separate themselves to distinguish themselves. Great games happened on Saturday. Let's get to the recap. Game 1, 0-3 Mayhem took on 1-2 Reservoir Dogs. Now, Reservoir Dogs were coming out of a great win last week over an undermanned Skywalkers. But hey, you put two teams together, you got to play. Doesn't matter if there's 7 players or 9 players, whatever it is, you got to play and you got to win. And Skywalkers didn't do that as Reservoir Dogs just trashed them 26-0. And they were going against an 0-3 Mayhem team who lost a heartbreaker to X-Men on the last second play on a special teams kickoff return by Detroit. So Reservoir Dogs were pretty much a favorite going into this game, and they let the winless 0-3 Mayhem get their first win.
Well, all that pretty comes down to, on 3 teams is just more hungry. When you're 0-3, you're looking for a win. Sometimes you got to dig deep to get that win. And when you're winning all the time, and you go against the 0-3 team or 0-4 team that doesn't have no victories, well, sometimes you get complacent, and that's how you get beat.
Seems like that's what happened to Reservoir Dogs. They were complacent. Maybe they were just reading too much of their press clippings, No more the underdogs anymore. Now they're the big favorites. And totally got outplayed and outclassed by the Mayhem. Gangrene, give Gangrene credit, led by their quarterback, Alex, who was 6 for 11, threw 436 yards and 2 touchdowns. They prevailed over Reservoir Dogs 20-12. Reservoir Dogs, who had their quarterback, Neil Rodriguez, who had a great game in week 3. Yeah. He had an okay game, but he threw 2 costly turnovers. And Paul, you can vouch for anyone. Turnovers will always kill you.
Turnovers will always kill you. And one thing about it is when a quarterback has a great game the week before, a lot of times the defense kind of prepares for them the next week. And pretty much what happened is that quarterback got scouted out, and they knew everything he was doing, and that's why he threw those interceptions.
Well, both teams are now 1-3. Game 2 of Week 4 was between 2-1 Skywalkers and 0-3 Demolition Crew. Now, Paul, Skywalkers wanted to get that nightmare of that loss to Reservoir Dogs last week when they only had 7. Now, the week prior to that, they had 8 players, which was enough. 7 wasn't lucky, but maybe if they had their full roster of players, then we can get a good look and a good inclination of what type of team Skywalkers would be. But they had a pretty easy matchup against Demolition Crew, who's 0-3, which is basically chicken soup for the soul. Whatever's ailing you, whatever cure you need, just schedule Demolition Crew because you'll get a W and start feeling good about yourself.
Well, unlike the game 1, game 2, when you play against an 0-3 team, you do what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to win. You're supposed to dominate.
Exactly.
I don't see why a team that's 0-3 should ever even be the team if you have a winning organization as Skywalkers do. So that's what Skywalkers did what they're supposed to do. 0-3 teams, make them 0-4.
Well, yeah, Skywalkers came with a complete roster, and you could see from the beginning Hannibal wanted to right the wrongs from last week as he led a balanced attack, running the ball, throwing the ball, getting the ball to his playmakers, X, to number 2, to Slim, their new wide receiver who's just been mossing cats, catching touchdowns right over their heads. Like it was just like taking candy from a baby. But they totally outplayed Demolition Crew, who I got to give credit to their captain, Druzy. I mean, I was hard on him last week, but he played very well. They had a great running attack because they ran over 150 yards. That's how they scored. But it wasn't enough in the long run as Skywalkers beat Demolition Crew 26-14. Quick question, Paul. When you're 0-4, what do you tell your team? There's only 8 playoff spots there, and you're 0-4. You're really looking. You gotta really have your back against the wall.
Well, if your back is against the wall and you have nothing to play for, you can always play for pride, and that's all you got to do is tell your people to play for pride and go out there and play hard because you represent the name on your back.
Like I said, Skywalkers now moved to 3-1. Demolition Crew, the only winless crew in the league. Sad stuff, boss. Game 3 of Week 4 was between two fierce rivals, X-Men and Street Finest. Both teams are coming in 2-1, as both teams won last week. X-Men finally, righting the errors that Chico had in Week 2, won a last-minute epic game against Mayhem with Detroit's unbelievable 72-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, while Street Finest was trying to, get revenge, trying to right the ship after a tough loss to a 8-man Skywalker's team. It's kind of bad when you lose to a team that's an 8-man. That's a handicap. You should be able to beat a team that is one player down. Street Finest wasn't able to, but like I said, they righted the ship when they played everybody's favorite healthcare demolition crew. Both teams were talking so much junk throughout the week. Social media was abuzz. Chico, captain of X-Men, Sammy, captain of Street Finest, taking it to Facebook. A lot of trash talking. But let's see if the trash talking throughout the week actually lived up to the game, and it actually did. The game was actually a great battle. You can see both teams wanted it very bad. Chico played very well. 9 for 15.
No interception, which is remarkable.
Shocking. That's the number one shocking stat right there.
I think it's because he was doing the stretches this morning, and his back was been hurting last time.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Little
This time he was a lot better this time.
a little stretching going on?
The ball was getting there with no interception.
No interception with some velocity? Well, no, it was no fault of Chico's. Got to give him credit. He was 9 for 15, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns, led his team down the field for the first quick drive, quick score, 6-0. Give Street Finest credit. Team with a lot of resolve, a lot of resiliency. They went right back down the field. Their quarterback, Chubby Chase, ran a 5-yard touchdown. It was 6-6. Chico led his team down the field in the second half to take a 12-6 lead. Then the Street Finest quarterback gets injured. Chubby Chase gets injured. They put in their backup, Dylan. And it seemed to give their offense a lot of life. Now, we all know everybody's favorite player in the football team is the backup quarterback. Why is that?
Well, because that's the opportunity quarterback right there. Just like my friend Kaepernick for the 49ers. Alex Smith went down, he stepped it up, went to the Super Bowl. So it's always good for backup quarterbacks to come in there and do what they do, but they are the backup quarterback. And just because you come in doesn't mean the starter shouldn't be starting next week, because he's back up for a reason.
Well, he came in, drove the Street Finest down the field, tied the score at 12. Street Finest defensive line, which played great all game long, got pressure on Chico. A lot of hurries, a lot of throws that Chico forced because of the pressure that the defensive line was given. But it was a 12-12 game. And then Dylan hit Stewie over the middle for a 60-yard touchdown pass. Gave them an 18-12 lead. Street Finest was up on X-Men with less than 20 seconds to go. And then X-Men, got to give them credit, an impressive drive where Cordell threw, it looked like he was on his own 10-yard line, threw an 80-yard bomb, that was caught, but the receiver was tackled down at the 3-yard line with 4 seconds left. One play to take the lead and possibly go for the extra point to win. Street Finest got the pressure on Chico, incomplete pass, game over. Street Finest beats Chico's X-Men, 18-12. Chico, not his fault. I got to give him credit. He played very well. Their defense, a strong point of their team, a staple of their team.
Well, yeah,
lacking.
From the sideline report, I was hearing about some defensive communication that they had that's going to be changed in the upcoming week.
Wow, breaking news. Breaking news. Hitting right now.
So next week, though, look for the X-Men to be better, because they have some new people coming to the team as well. Wink. And also, we're going to win.
Wait a minute. I wouldn't be doing my job as an investigative reporter when you're saying wink, wink. Is it safe for me to say that a certain Paul Pratt might be, taking off the suit and putting on some cleats?
I might have to revisit the football field again with X-Men next week, because I'm about winning, and it's about, dominating. And I'm tired of Tail Squad keep winning all the time, because they're not that good.
Wow. People are about to get all Drakey. They're going to get in their feelings now. Wow. So you heard it here first. This man's going to take off the mic this week, put on the cleats next week, and come for everybody to dominate as X-Men. Fall to 2-2, but seem to be having some help coming on the way. Street Finest 3-1, showing everybody that last year was, like I said, was no fluke. They're a legit team, a team that can battle Outlaws, Terror Squad, and many of the good teams in the EFF League.
Exactly. And you know why I'll be one of the best receivers.
Wow, there you go. Game 4 in Week 4 was between 2-1 Empire State and the 1-2 White Shadow. White Shadow, who had all their best players back for this good matchup, seems to have to be a good team when they have their ponytail assassin. You know him very well, Evan Yabu. Guy that nobody seems to be able to cover in the league. I don't know, maybe when you get back that, as we all know now, that Mr. Pratt will be joining the X-Men and one of the better cornerbacks in the league, but maybe you'll be able to contain Mr. Yabu. But Evan seems to be one of the toughest covers in the league, and he was definitely slicing and dicing Empire State on Saturday.
Well, he is a great receiver, Evan Yabu, but a lot of times he gets open because DBs don't get hands on him. See, when I guard him, I'm going to put my hands on him. So that's going to stop the timing from the receiver and the quarterback. But the whole White Shadow football team is a great disciplined football team. That's why they're so successful, just like the real Patriots in the NFL. So.
Yeah, not to be racial or anything like that, but they're White Shadow. So obviously they're white. And they wear New England Patriot uniforms. So, yeah. Evan Yabu's Wes Welker. Their quarterback's Tom Brady. Their big number 8, he's Gronk. So, no, we're not being racial. It's just, it is what it is. And the Patriots whooped the Giants' ass on Saturday because Empire State had nothing for White Shadow. If this was a racial crime, it would be a white-on-black beating. White Shadow dominated Empire State. The quarterback was great, 15 for 25, 215 yards, 3 touchdowns, all 3 touchdowns to Evan Yabu. And the ponytail assassin, as I like to call him, he was doing his thing. Empire State, I don't know what's wrong with them. I mean, they're such a talented team, a team that finished with the second-best record last season. After a good showing in Week 1, they've been sputtering on offense. Their defense not playing so well. Tracy was getting a couple of sacks. Tracy did get a lot of pressure, but the rest of the defense was not playing well. And it seemed to me White Shadow did a good job of limiting their playmaker, Brent Wise, who was a great talent, but they seemed to limit him and was able to really throw Empire State's offense out of whack.
Well, White Shadow, they kind of, I guess you say with great teams, at times they can get complacent because, maybe on a drive over to the stadium, they was kind of too relaxed or didn't have a great warm-up. But great teams always find a way to win. Somewhere in the middle of that game, they start making plays, and always the better team always wins.
Well, Empire State did not make enough plays. Quarterback Smitty, who played the first half and then somehow was disappeared and was nowhere to be found in the second half. Can't win without your great quarterback. And they didn't. 1913 was the victory for 1913 was the victory for White Shadow. They moved their record to 2-2. Empire State falls to 2-2. They need to step it up. They got to get their team back. They got to get their focus back because I expect more from Empire State. A team with tremendous talent, some great playmakers, great leader in Tracy. What's going on, man? Come on, QB. What's good? What's good? And the final game of Week 4 was the marquee matchup between the 5-time champions, Terror Squad, and their longtime rival, the Outlaws. We are happy to be joined by Outlaw superstar Ronald Jean. Ron, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for coming. Well, this was the game. This was the marquee game. You against the guys that eliminated them. Now, Paul, they've been eliminated the past 3 postseasons by the 5-time champion Terror Squad, twice in the championship game. Hey, I got to bring up the facts, man. I know it hurts. It hurts. It pains the soul. I know. But, hey, we got to let them know. And they eliminated you last year in the first round of the playoffs. How bad do you hate Terror Squad?
Hate is just a strong word. We just don't like them.
Dislike?
Dislike, yes. I said dislike.
Heavy dislike?
Very strong dislike.
Like if you saw Tuesday crossing the street and he gets hit by a car, would you go call 911?
Would I stop and help?
Yeah. And now, mind you, I'm saying this because you're playing him, like say you're playing him in the playoff like that later on that week on a Saturday. Would you call 911 for assistance?
I would call 911. Would I hang around? No.
Man, that's some hatred, bro. That ain't dislike, that's hatred, okay? Anyway, the big game Saturday, you come in undefeated. You were 3-0. They were 2-1 after their loss to Skywalker's in week 1, and where I called them out, and they got all, like Aubrey with me. They were like, oh, we're old. Don't you think it's time for their run to be over? They're getting a little old, right?
The thing is, our sole mission this year is to dethrone them.
That's it.
Because we don't really care much about the regular season right now. Our goal is to dethrone that team and for us to win it. It's our time this year.
Wow, Paul, when you hear something like that from the captain, one of the stars of the team, what does that give you? What do you think when you hear that?
It just makes me think of confidence, and that they have a real confident player on that team. I watched that game yesterday, and you're very explosive. And I just want to let Terra Squad know they're very lucky that it's flag football because they can't touch you. They're barely getting your flag, so you have a big opportunity to take them down. Now, as long as I'm on X-Men, I don't know if that's what it's going to be.
I love it. I love this.
But for you being Terra Squad, y'all should go deep in the playoffs. But as long as I'm here, we're going to the playoffs too.
Wow.
Our goal, not to take anything away with what you're saying, our goal is the championship. Right now, Terra Squad was just another hurdle. We have a series of 12 hurdles we want to go through, and the next are 2. Our goal is we knocked down 4 hurdles so far. We got 8 more hurdles to go in the regular season and 2 in the playoff. That's our goal. Our goal is just 1 hurdle in front of us. We got to get to this 1 hurdle.
So you got 12 hurdles. What is it, a 12-step program? Is this what this
Hey,
is what you
whatever
guys
way you want to call it.
12-step program. Well, the 4th step in that program was the week 4 battle against Terra Squad. Both teams know each other so well. You guys did make the big splash by acquiring Marquise, and it seemed like they did a lot of coverage. They were shadowing him all game long, especially in the first half, and they had a shadow on you because, well, let's be real. Ronnie's leading the league in touchdowns, leading the league in rushing yards, leading the league in rushing touchdowns. We're giving the MVP right now in the first quarter of the season. This would be the MVP, folks. You guys pressured Tuesday all day. He did not, listen.
You also forgot about sacks. I got 4 sacks this season.
You see?
I got 1 sacks per game, so. So
the guy's a stat filler. Look at that. He's breaking my balls about him and his 4 sacks. Okay? But the pressure was great because you were making Tuesday. He was having happy feet. I mean, it was like saving, it's like saving the last dance with Tuesday on Saturday. He was moving around, trying to avoid you, trying to avoid, the number 56, the dude with the fro who's always on the verge of bull rushing, but he always gets away with it for some reason. But you were putting a lot of pressure on Tuesday, and on their first offensive play, safety set the tone for the game.
Basically, from listening to Tuesday, that safety basically frustrated him. Because when we got that safety, I heard him talking to his team, can you guys block? When I first heard that basically lit my fire to keep going after him.
You caught a semi-woody, didn't you? You caught a semi-woody when you heard that, didn't you? Anyway, but the game was battled close. A lot of drop passes by Terra Squad. And that also seemed to happen in the following game because let me give you a little history, guys. Terra Squad are 5-time champions, kind of bit a little bit more than they can chew. As they decided they want to play a doubleheader. Not only were they going to take on the team with the best record in the league, Outlaws, but then they were going to, after the game, play an exhibition against Matthew Hatchett, former NFL wide receiver, team title team, where a certain person on this panel, not named Vlad, not named Ron, also participated in the game and won against Terra Squad. Now, after seeing them play against Outlaws, what were your thoughts about playing against Terra Squad?
I didn't know who he was playing against. I didn't care. But when I seen he was on the field, I said, okay. It was Tuesday, but he threw some Saturday interceptions to me. I got 2 interceptions off him.
Wow. They eating.
We all professionals on our team, so we didn't practice. We just got together and just figured it out on the run. They got 2 touchdowns kind of early, but after we figured them out, we had the same defense. They know what it is, cover 2, couldn't stop it. We forced turnovers, and I actually scored a touchdown. So I'm very explosive. I was the fastest guy on the field, and as long as I'm on the field, if the ball's in my hand, I'm going to get to the zone.
But they beat you 13-8 in the exhibition. That didn't count. But they lost to you 15-6.
Actually, it was 21-6.
Wow. Which one was the 21?
They picked 6 at the end.
That called the game. See, try to help you out, Terror Squad, but it was 21-6. But now, the game was an icebreaker. You sealed the game on that 17-yard run. And after your touchdown, the littlest man on the field screamed out to one of the biggest men on the field, "Get big." They think they have mind control over you guys. They're beating you guys in the postseason, breaking your hearts, taking away your championship aspirations. They feel like any championship team usually does, that they could, turn on that proverbial light switch and, get their ship right and proceed to plow through everybody in the postseason. If you guys happen to be on their way, they don't feel any different. They're going to stomp on you. What's going to make this season so different?
The thing is, in the past, we've gotten caught up knowing that when we play them, we tend to play by their rules. This year is going to be a little different. We're going to play by our rules.
You hear that, Terror Squad? My man right here is telling there's a new sheriff in town. Reggie Hammett's not having it this year. Outlaw's coming after you. X-Men's coming after you. Y'all biting a little bit more than you can chew now. Maybe they're replacing their Gatorade with Metamucil, because these guys are getting a little old, all right? I don't know, maybe AARP's coming. I don't know what's going on. They thought they could beat you guys. Did you find it, last question, did you find a smack in the face to schedule an exhibition after playing your team, the undefeated team, now 4-0 after beating Terror Squad? Did you feel like a smack in the face?
We didn't think about it that way. Our goal is we do not like this team. They don't like us. They've been fortunate to beat us 3 straight years. Our goal was that, hey, it doesn't matter what the plans are. The goal is to beat them. And our goal, beating them wasn't just enough where we beat them by a touchdown, where they probably would say to themselves and to others that, you know what, they got lucky. We want to send a message that it's not luck.
They had their full squad. They came 14 deep. 14 deep. When I mean they came 14 deep, they might have had like 32 players.
I got a question for you. Do you really think you guys can win?
It's not really thinking it, it's believing it. We know when we come out there, if all our players are there, we're always on the same page. Even though we've 20 guys out there, it's about one unit. That's our motto yesterday. Our motto before the game, one unit. It doesn't matter what everyone is doing. If we do it as one, nobody out there can mess with us.
So when the team is not together, who's the person on the team that's going to pull them together?
It's not just the captain. It's someone that have that confidence level that can bring everybody in as one. Because in our team, we have a lot of egos. Because when you have so much talent, you're going to have egos. The thing is to getting each individual, put the ego aside, and do the betterment of the team. That's what our team is about, which is you guys have seen us. We don't argue. We don't fight. We play as a team. Even though we make mistakes, we give up touchdown, we always come back together. We always pick each other up.
That's a great answer.
Well, because of that team concept, we're now going to release the first EFFL Power Rankings. Ronnie, I'm glad that you're here because we're about to release the first EFFL Power Rankings, and you may be happy with who's number one. So this was all done by a committee of one, myself, and I'm law, juror, executioner, everything. So therefore, without no further ado, let's get to the Power Rankings. Number 10, Demolition Crew. You haven't played them yet. They're like Theraflu. Whatever's ailing you, they're your cure. I know you're looking forward to pounding them, aren't you?
It's just another hurdle.
Another hurdle. Another step in the 12-step.
So humble.
So humble, right? So humble. Number 9, Mayhem.
Not me though.
Gangrene, you got your one win. Got to give you credit. Can't stop but it still can't make me forget about the 3 beatdowns you took in the first 3 weeks. But you did get your win. You're not your only Demolition Crew is the winless team in the league. Number 8, Reservoir Dogs. Reservoir Dogs for losing to Mayhem. You were 1 and 2. You were ready to make that leap after beating Skywalkers, and then you crapped the bed. Horrible. That's you're not ready for the prime time. Number 7 in the power rankings, X-Men. Sorry, Chico. Got love for you, but by virtue of your loss to White Shadow, we got to put White Shadow ahead of you. Both teams have the same record at 2-2, but White Shadow is number 6. Number 5, Empire State. 2-2. Don't know what's wrong with them. Folks, this is a better team, at least talent-wise, but we don't play the games on paper. Something's wrong with them. I think they're going to get it right. Let's go, Tracy. Let's go, Smitty. Let's see what's up with you guys. Number 4, the 5-time champions Terror Squad. Yeah, you lost. You're 2-2. Your 2 losses have been bad. People are calling you out. People think you guys need to collect Social Security. Let's see what's up with them. See, they're laughing. They're laughing at you. Never seen any sign of disrespect to the champs in my life. Let's see what's up with you guys. Number 3, Street Finest. 3-1. Rivals. Do you think Street Finest might be a little test for you guys? Another hurdle. Just another hurdle, right? Just another hurdle.
We don't pay attention to the jersey colors. We just, wherever jersey shows up, that's what we're playing.
Street Finest does have some nice jerseys, boy. Those colors are really good. So that's a good point. But Street Finest 3-1. Let's see if they have a quarterback controversy. You don't think so? If you think if one guy leads you to the championship, don't replace him on an injury.
He deserves to have his spot back, yes.
All right. Number 2, Skywalkers. Probably the most volatile team in the whole league. 1 week they're up, 1 week they're down, 1 week they have 7, 1 week they have 8, 1 week they have 9. It's crazy. But they're 3-1, won 75% of their games. They had the best record last year. I know when you see them, another hurdle. I know when you see them, you want to go against X. You want to take on their best receiver. You want to shut them down. You want it, don't you?
I ain't worried about that.
Drum roll, please. The Outlaws, led by this man right here, Ronald G. Caught captain in crime check. Free agent, wide receiver, Marquise Powell. Quarterbacks, multiple quarterbacks. Every week there's a change of quarterbacks. A quarterback carousel with you guys. But you're 4-0, only undefeated team in the league. How does that make you feel?
It's good. It's good. The goal is to win every game. So to be 4-0, it's great.
But you don't care about being number 1 now. You want to be number 1 at the end of the season.
Exactly. That's the ultimate goal. Right now, because we don't want to be looked at as one of those teams. Prime example, we've had Red Rum a few years ago. We have Skywalker last year that only lost 2 regular season games.
Facts.
Then they lost in the playoffs. So
Facts.
we don't want that.
Facts. You're speaking actuals and factuals. You don't want to be that team.
You know, I really feel like we're on a collision course for some reason. I don't know why.
Wow.
I can see the Outlaws and the X-Men being in the championship game, and me versus you. I think it would be awesome for the cameras.
You hearing that, folks? We might be having a little Super Bowl preview.
Yeah.
They're talking to each other right now.
Yeah, well, he's not talking, but I am.
You know, I can't wait for the X-Men Outlaws matchup in the regular season. Week 7. Ronald already has that in his mind already. Do you see how focused they are? They already know who they're scared. Who are you playing next week? Who are you playing Saturday? Week 5. Reservoir Dogs. So that's chicken soup for the soul, huh?
No, not really. Because every game we want to continue to get better.
Wow.
So no matter who's out there.
That's awesome.
No
awesome.
names, no faces. Just ball out. That's all we do. That's all ballers do. That's all I know.
So you're just gonna ball out this Saturday. That's
Hey,
what you're gonna do.
I don't think. I just go.
Folks, this was an excellent show. I'd like to thank my guest, Outlaw Superstar Ronald Jean, my special co-host who broke news today saying he's joining X-Men. He's gonna help Chico, Paul Pratt. I'm your host, Vladimir Lussaint. Thank you for watching. Tune in next week on the EFF Zone.